Hi everyone, welcome back to Maximum Attack Rallying. It is a new week and a new video. I did say that this video, or even the last video, was going to be about EA Sports WRC. Good news is I have actually managed to play a little bit of EA Sports WRC and mess around with the 2024 cars and the GR Yaris Rally 2. I haven't made a video about it yet because I've just been playing and there's been things happening. Last week we had the official announcement of the 208 racing, and we also had another announcement last week that is very, very newsworthy. So I wanted to talk about that because it felt more timely. And so basically there was a meeting of the World Motorsport Council last week. That meeting could have tied in with a virtual decision to get rid of hybrid from the WRC, but that's still boiling away under the surface from the looks of it. But there were some very interesting things that did come out. One thing that happened is that the TC Lite format was ratified. I talked about that in a video a few months ago. So basically that's having racing categories for what is effectively Rally 4 and Rally 5 cars. So that happened. But the big thing, the big news that's got people talking is the extension of the FIA Appendix K historic regulations to cover cars up to 2000. So up to now, historic has only covered cars up to 1990. That will be extended from 2025 to cover cars up to the year 2000. Now that is very interesting across the motorsport landscape. So that will mean lots of new F1 cars are eligible for historic competitions, all of the 90s F1 cars. Super touring cars, oh my goodness, I can't even speak. I'm so excited. Super touring cars, for example, super touring cars, they will be eligible for historic racing, FIA historic racing. So that's going to be very interesting. And obviously for us people, lots and lots of new rally cars are going to be eligible. This is big news. Rally cars up to 2000 will now be eligible for FIA historic rallying. Now, if you're from the UK, like I am, even though I'm not in the UK right now, Motorsport UK, our governing body, were considering doing similar to much controversy. They had issued a consultation for regulations for next year, allowing cars up to 2000 with the exclusion of World Rally cars. The FIA have gone further than that, so from next year, all cars up to 2000 will be eligible for historic, so that includes World Rally cars. This is exciting, isn't it? Think of all the cars that are going to be eligible for next year. Finally, we'll see historic Impretas and Escort Cosworths and Mitsubishi Evos and even early World Rally cars, the first Focus World Rally cars and Impreza World Rally cars. Man, that's exciting. I'm excited for this. I think this is fantastic. About time. About time. I want to stay positive about this, but I do have to, there's a few things I have to say. I have seen lots of talk online from people in the UK, and it is, from what I've seen, it is, I'm not surprised if it is mainly people in the UK, but lots of talk on UK rallying forums, you know, on social media. I'm already seeing people saying, oh my goodness, this will be the end. This will be the end of historic rallying. The world is crumbling. Oh my goodness. No, it won't. Why are you being melodramatic? This isn't the end of historic rallying. What are you talking about? Why are people talking like this? Why? Why do you think it will be the end of historic rallying? I can only think of one maybe slightly realistic argument in favour of that, and that is the fact that it will mean more four-wheel drive cars. And I know people with certain cars don't like competing on the same events as four-wheel drive cars, because if you're on gravel, it can mean the roads get more cut up. But I mean, a lot of historic rallies run at the same, you know, run alongside modern rallies. So a lot of these guys are running on the same stages as four-wheel drive cars anyway. So I don't buy that argument. No, sorry, I just don't buy it. This is not the end of historic rallying. No one is stopping you from continuing to rally your Escort, your Chevette, your TR7 or whatever, are they? So I just don't buy that. And if you want evidence that it's not going to kill historic rallying in the UK, just go and look in Europe. You know, Europe is already ahead of us in historic terms. Look at the historic scene over there, you know, in Spain, in Belgium and Netherlands, places like that. they have embraced the early Group A cars, the up to 1990 cars. Historic rallying in Europe is in rude health. I've been to historic rallies in Europe, and you've got M3s, Sierra Cosworths, Delta Integrales. It is fantastic. You've still got the old Porsches and Escorts and things. You've just got a load of new cars as well, and that's really, really cool. Do you know what? Whenever this discussion comes up, because it has come up before, whenever people talk about rallying moving forward, particularly in the UK, I bet I am willing to put money on the fact that when the historic regulations changed to allow Group 4 cars from the 70s, the people that were, running and involved in historic rallying were just the same. People that had old Minis and Austin Healey's, I bet they were just the same. Oh, we don't want those cars. It's the end of historic rallying. No, it's just evolution. Things change. Things move on. Modern rallying moves on, so historic rallying has to move on. That's how it is. It just has to reflect a period in time. And we're just reaching a point, aren't we, where it now has to reflect a different period in time. That I didn't grow up with Group 4. I like Group 4, I respect it. I didn't grow up with it. I grew up with Group A. So that's just it, isn't it? People getting older, the people that did grow up with Group 4 are getting older, and things just have to move on. I think the thing that we have to remember, and the thing that some of you grumpy people have to remember, and you are grumpy people, is that it's not your train set. It's not your train set. Rallying isn't owned by you or a particular era or anyone. Like I said, it just has to evolve. It just has to move with the times. Things change, we can't stop at a particular moment in time, whether that was the Mini, the Escort, the Audi Quattro, the Delta Integrale, the Impreza WRC, the Rally 1, whatever it might be. Things evolve all the time and things will always change. So I'm sorry, just no, it's not yours. No one owns rallying. No era owns rallying. It's called progress. The other argument I've seen is that there won't be parts available, and there is logic in this. I think this is one of the trickier things, isn't it? One of the challenges we face with a lot of these 90s cars, and this is perhaps an argument why we've been a bit too slow to adopt them, is cost. So you've got there's parts problems, isn't there? Building, let's say you decide to build an Impreza World Rally car, that's going to be quite tough, isn't it? Or a Group A Impreza. These parts were built in quite small numbers. They're very specialised, especially when you're talking about active diffs and gearboxes and things. There are some complex parts there, and getting hold of those parts on the used market is definitely not easy. So that's one issue. And you've also got the cars themselves. I think there will be cars that are some cars that are easier to build than others. It's going to be a brave man, isn't it, that spends £50,000 on an Escort Cosworth road car to cut that up and turn it into a rally car. So that's a challenge. Parts are a challenge. But I mean, you say parts are a challenge, and that is true. But at the same time, well, you could say that about any car. At one time, there wasn't hundreds of suppliers selling Mark II Escort parts, was there? There wasn't. It was very difficult to build a Group 4 Fiat 131 until Rally Sport Development started, resupplying parts for them. It was very difficult to build a TR7 V8, but now Dave Appleby is building TR7 V8. So it is possible, If you look at Matt's performance in the Netherlands, they've built a business around the E30 M3. They're building brand new E30 M3 race cars and rally cars. It is possible, I think we have to remember that if people want these cars, if the demand is there, the parts will be there. People will think, oh, hold on, I can take this car and I can start remanufacturing the parts for it. Let's face it, there are lots of Group 4 historic spec Escorts and things out there. They're not all running new old stock parts, are they? A lot of these bits are being remanufactured, and that's what this is about. As you start to build the demand for the parts, people will step up, won't they? Companies will see opportunities and they will start to remanufacture stuff, and it won't be a problem. And as I said, I get why people might think, yeah, but it's going to be really difficult with a WRC car or some of the Group A cars, and that is true. But rallying isn't just about the fancy four-wheel drive Group A cars, is it? The 90s wasn't just about those cars. What the beauty of this step, in my view, is all the lower category cars. Just think about all the you know, the Group A and Group N cars from the lower classes. You've got Astras, Corsas, Clios, 306s, RS2000s, Golfs, Ford Kas, anything you can think of. There are countless cars out there. So yeah, we might not see historic entry lists full of Impreza and Escort WRCs or Corolla WRCs, but just think of all the other opportunities. You know, think of all the other cars out there, all the Group N cars. You know, I think for me, popular choices that I think, and I hope the class system on Rallies kind of accommodates Group N in particular. You know, Group N Imprezas, Group N Evos, there's real opportunities there. Imprezas are still relatively plentiful, aren't they, and relatively affordable. So you've got lots of opportunities there. And like I say, you've got all these lower category cars. If you go across to France, you know, there are companies in France already reproducing parts for Clios and 306s. There's lots and lots of opportunity. And I think that's the major point that I want to make. I think one of the challenges in British rallying in particular is that people tend to look at things in a certain way. You know, we look at a change of regulations as a problem rather than as an opportunity. You know, it happened with closed roads. When they introduced the legislation making it easier to close public roads to host rallies, everyone was like, oh no, but think of all the permits and all the trickiness with the spectators. Closed roads has delivered massive opportunity for British rallying and has allowed us to make massive strides. And I think, you know, this is exactly the same. Yeah, if you desperately want Mark II Escorts to win every historic rally and every historic rally championship, you're probably going to be disappointed because in the next few years, that might stop happening. To an extent, I think it's going to take time. But this is also a fantastic opportunity. This is a fantastic opportunity for rally preparation companies, parts manufacturers, to introduce new products and build new cars and create more variety. You know, and I think more importantly than that, it's an opportunity for new people to connect with the sport. It's an opportunity for people that might have grown up watching in the 90s on TV to reconnect with rallying if they've fallen away from it, you know, to come back to the type of rallying that they grew up with. It's an opportunity for people that may have never watched before but are interested in Japanese sports cars to think, wow, you know, this is Imprezas and Evos being used as they're supposed to be used and built as the manufacturers envisaged them being built and you know what they were designed for. So, like I said, yeah, if you're a massive fan of the 70s and 80s, things are going to change, but you're still allowed to compete. You know, this isn't the end of historic rallying. It's a change. You will still be allowed to drive your car. There will still be class awards and categories for your car. It just means that there's potentially going to be more people interested in historic rallying and a different group of people, a younger group of people, which will help take historic rallying into the future. It's allowing us to pass the torch on to a new generation. You know, this isn't the end of historic rallying. This is a new beginning for it. So I think we need to be very careful with being too negative about it. You know, for me, instead of moaning about the potential negatives, I think we should embrace the potential for change. Let's embrace it. You know, let's open our arms up for seeing lots of cars that we don't actually get to see anymore very often. Seeing all these exciting, fantastic cars from the 90s era. You know, your Group A Imprezas, your Group A Escort Cosworths, your Formula 2 kit cars, your Super 1600s, all these amazing cars. We might actually start seeing them back out again in reasonable numbers. And for me, that is really, really exciting. I can't wait to see that. Yeah, it's going to take time. You know, we're not going to see entry lists with 30 full fat works factory spec Group A Imprezas on them. But even if we just see 3 or 4, that is a great start, and it will help reinvigorate historic rallying. And to be honest, I think in the UK at least, it needs that. You know, as I said earlier in this video, go to Europe. I think that the introduction of early Group A cars, your Sierra Cosworths, Deltas, Celicas, Legacies, that kind of thing, M3s in particular, has really added some new excitement to historic rallies. So that is what we have to look forward to. It's not going to stop you rallying your 70s car. It's just going to mean new cars, new opportunities, and new excitement. And more important than all of that, new fans. So I am totally on board with it. I am super, super excited. I cannot wait. If you're watching this, you should be thinking what historic car you could build. I know I am. I can't afford a Group A Impreza, by the way, but I'm trying to think of affordable cars. What's the next affordable historic car? You know, is it a a 306? Is it a 106? Is it a Ford Cat? Something like that. There's so many opportunities, and that is what this represents. Like I said, it's opportunity. So don't be mad, don't be grumpy about it, be excited, because this could be the thing that makes historic rallying even better, even more interesting, and even more popular. Anyway, that's enough of that. I'm going to leave it there. As always, please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for your support. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so let's keep pushing forward. And I will see you again next time.